So I told you I would be back. Hi, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're well. If you didn't see my last video, then you won't know that I recently took another trip to the jungle, otherwise known as Choir of Man, at the Arts Theatre, and this time I went crazy and did standing. So if you want to know my thoughts and feelings on standing at the Choir of Man and whether I prefer it to seating, then stick around and we'll get into it in 2 whole seconds. So yeah, we're back talking about this little show right here. I always love how small the programme is. It's pocket friendly. You don't get many of those. But as I said in the intro, this time round I did standing, basically because that was my only option. I very last minute booked my ticket and there was literally 2 spaces in standing available, and that was it. It was a sold out Sunday afternoon show. I have done similar videos for other shows in the past where I've done sitting versus standing and my thoughts and feelings on both. So I thought I'd do that today with this show itself. So yeah, like I said, definitely in my last video, but maybe at the beginning of this one, I have seen this show now 3 times. I've seen it twice sitting in the stalls, and now I've seen it the 3rd time standing in the stalls. So firstly, let's talk about where you stand at the Choir of Man, because I didn't actually know, and it didn't really like clock with me when I bought my ticket, because obviously you get your seat plan, but I couldn't work out where standing was. I'm probably a bit thick, and that is okay. But standing at the Choir of Man is at the back of the stalls. So on entrance to the theatre, through the doors, you get your bags checked and your ticket checked by security and by front of house. Once the auditorium is open, you walk down the stairs into the stalls, and there is a little ledge waiting for you at the back on the wall. That is where standing is. It is not overly close knit, but it wasn't like, oh, I've got lots and lots of space. I was very much in my little corner. I put myself in the corner on purpose. There isn't a specific place you need to stand as long as it's in that area. If you veer too far away from that area, then you will politely be asked, can you just shuffle that way? Which is kind of what happened in our performance. The person I was stood next to on my right just got asked if they could move slightly further back. Quite crazily, I'm not gonna like fully name drop, but the person I stood next to, I had a brief chat with, which was always a pleasure to have someone to talk to when you're solo watching, but they were actually going into, and by the time this video goes up I think they've just started, in the Chicago cast of Choir of Man. They'd come over alongside one other cast member from America to see the show, to do a bit of rehearsing, should we say, because quite a few of the cast are actually English going over. So that was pretty cool. I think he said he'd landed in like on Thursday and it was Sunday, and he's seen the show like 3 times. Insane. But yeah, that person was actually told, can they just shuffle up slightly, and in the end they moved the bin out of its position, so we had a little bit more space. But I never felt like I was in anybody's way, and I had a full view of the lower stage. The one thing you do miss by standing is you miss the view of the band, who are on a raised area on the stage. You can just about see them if you duck down, but it's not a position you can stay in for too long, so that is the downside. If you are someone who quite enjoys watching the entire thing, band and all, then that is a little bit sad. But the lower level of the stage, which is essentially the bar area, I missed nothing. Everything was in full view, and yeah, view wise I actually quite enjoyed it, and comfort wise as well. There is, like I said, a ledge, and it is a slightly cushioned ledge which you can lean on or prop yourself up on, or not even lean on. I'm a leaner. But it being a 90-minute show, and it being quite, like, I was gonna say vibey, and that word just made me a bit but it being quite a, like, get up and go, mostly upbeat music show, you kind of feel yourself like jiggling and dancing a little bit anyway, especially if you've seen it a few times and you know your favourite songs, and you can even try and join in with a little bit of a boogie. Like I said, I never felt like I was in anybody's way. The cast itself on 2 occasions come around the entirety of the stalls from their stairs, come round past you at the back standing, and then slightly down the other side before going back. So that was kind of cool for them to be right up there. Plus, like I said, the person I was stood next to was going into the Chicago cast, so the UK cast kind of knew who he was, so that was kind of cool. They were all giving him like high fives, so it kind of felt like such a nice little Choir of Man family moment, and I really enjoyed kind of watching that aspect, even though it wasn't part of the show. But yeah, overall my standing experience was actually pretty cool. I think I paid £18. Give me 2 seconds and I shall just check. Yes, it was £18 to stand. I paid £1.50 because I had a voucher from my cancelled previous show. But yeah, I don't think I can complain paying £1.50 to go and stand and watch the show. I have often actually found the arts theatre chairs slightly uncomfortable. They are quite narrow in the stalls anyway. I've never actually sat in the top level, so I'm very much like this, sat in the arts seats. It's probably a personal preference, but for me it's not the most comfiest of seats. And like I said, I don't feel like I missed out a great deal by standing over sitting, and in fact at times it almost made it feel a little bit more part of the show in a way. Even though you're right at the back, it still felt like you're included. And like I said, you could also just have a dance if you wish. It's really, for £18, it is a good value thing. Now, I've never tried to book standing in the past, so I don't know if the situation is like with other shows in which they only release standing once seating is pretty much booked. So feel free to let me know in the comments if you do know. But yeah, would I recommend standing at Choir of Man? Yes, actually. It's not a long show. You can feel free to have a little sing and a dance if you wish. Just don't over participate over the rest of the actual cast. But if you're having a little quiet sing along, go for it. It's just such a family feeling show that yes, you can go and see it once, but you can go back again and again and again. And yeah, I always feel like I can go to the jungle when I have no show to go and see. So there we go, I've managed to whittle on, I don't know how, on standing at the Choir of Man. Have you ever experienced it yourself? Let me know your thoughts and feelings if you have. Obviously I am speaking as someone who, for the majority of me, is an able-bodied person with no major pains. She says, although I'm currently dealing with really bad back pains, unrelated to Choir of Man, but yeah, I feel with standing, as long as you are aware you are going to be standing for the entirety of the show, then go for it. But anyway, I'm going to leave this video here because I feel like I'm just going around in a circle, and that is that. But yeah, I'm going to leave it here and say thank you. I love you a lot. I hope to come see you in another video. But yeah, I'm going to say cheerio and farewell. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I will see you next time. Bye.